don't forget to like and subscribe. That's what Frosty Cupcake, aka Rebecca, says. It's been a couple days that I did not do lives, and the reason is because we moved a lot. So now we're having a little holiday or vacation in Da Nang, and tomorrow we're going to Hoi An, that is very beautiful Vietnamese city. You can check out videos, horizontal long form videos about Da Nang, exploring Da Nang, first part and second part. I was quite busy all day today making that second part, starting from the journey to the how you call that, the pagoda, Lady Buddha place and the temple. I decided to walk there. It was exhausting, actually. I underestimated how, I wouldn't say difficult, but it was definitely harder road than I expected. I walked alongside the beach for most of the time, but the last 2 kilometers was a road hike, and you gotta be careful with the traffic and all that kind of stuff. But essentially made it there, and you can check out that video and see by yourself. Finally, live streaming and ready to respond to questions. If you want to know anything regarding Da Nang, any questions, feel free to ask. Hi Ayush, let's talk about how to communicate with girls more than one at the same time as to grow a relation with them. Like with everything else, you gotta practice. That means that you have to overcome that fear of failing in it, because your ratio between doing it successfully and not successfully is gonna be, you're gonna have less success by numbers than total attempts. But it's fine, in the worst case. I mean, if you meet someone very mean, like a mean girl who is, instead of just saying no, or, well, I have a boyfriend or something else, gonna try to be mean and humiliate, well, that says a lot about her, and you don't have to be embarrassed. You just, it's she's embarrassing herself. But otherwise, other than that, the worst thing you're gonna get is the rejection, and it's fine. You gotta, in terms to get successful at it and actually become quite good at approaching women and talking to them and building up different types of relations, you're gonna be able, you're gonna learn, and you have to teach yourself to accept rejection as well. And don't take it personally. Okay? Hi everyone. Howdy Kyla. It's well, not a long time to see, but since I've been streaming consistently, pretty much daily, couple days, feels quite a lot. I was busy traveling together with Chris, with my husband, and making long form content. You can check out those videos if you want. I think about them as a subject, so I should learn and don't make the same mistake the other time. Well, if you mean like a learning experience, a learning subject, up until you really get to know them, because some girls you might really like, you might like their appearance if you approach them, but you might like their personality as well, so it becomes more than just a training. But it is a lot about observing. That's true. So you gotta experience it, you gotta practice it, you gotta observe, try to learn your mistakes. And when I say mistakes, there is no like a specific set of rules what you should do. I mean, you should be decent, you should be polite. The good way, obviously, if you already look good, if you're handsome, that helps. So I really suggest to you guys to take care of yourself, go to gym, stay fit, stay strong. You know, find a good hairstyle and the style of appearance that suits you. But then when you know, apart from that, let's say you already did that and you approach a girl, just be the best tactic I've seen is being casual and kind of being friendly. So she doesn't feel that you're desperate and you're like sexualizing her or all that kind of stuff. So me and Chris have that friend. He's from Texas actually, so we met him in Georgia, and he's like ex-military, ex-special forces, quite a good-looking guy. You know, like not. He's quite a good-looking guy, fit, but also he's fully covered tattoos. You know, so it's for some women that's automatically a no. But like when I saw him, like we had a little funny story. So at the time, our friend had that bar, and they decided to make a ladies' night, and they basically just told us, okay, guys, can you just go take those invitation letters and just give it to the girls out there. And my friend was like, okay, you know what, I can come with you because like he had already mastered how to approach girls despite getting yes or no. And I saw how casual and friendly he was. You know, like you would not feel that he's seeking anything romantic or anything sexual when he was talking to those women. And I was there, you know. I was like, some women were like, "Oh, is it your girlfriend?" They're like, "No." I was like, "No, that's a friend." So, but I witnessed, and I think that was one of the, like, being neutral, being friendly, and being casual works very well. Obviously, on top of it, you gotta, you know, be confident, just be chill, you know. And I think women open up more, especially if they're gonna like you and if they see that you're not desperate for her, they're gonna be okay. So some girls even gave him some his number. Some girls were like, no, like I don't like you, and he was like, oh, that's okay, you know, just have a good day kind of thing. So I think being casual works quite well. She looks Irish. Do you do MMA or just boxing? I do boxing primarily, and but I watch MMA. And by the way, Dricus Duplessis versus Hamzat is coming up. One of the most anticipated fights. She looks Irish, definitely not Russian. I've been told that, but I am Georgian actually, and I have some Russian roots and Ukrainian roots and some Armenian roots. I have a lot of other roots too. Kyla says it's so nice to see you again. It feels like it's been longer than a few days. I'm glad it made it to Da Nang safely. Yeah, thank you very much. And it felt like a longer time, I can tell you. Hi, Michael. Hi, everyone. Nicholas. So many people. Do you wear high heels? Not very high heels, maybe a little bit. I'm terrible. I can walk on the thin heels. So I'm wearing high heels sometimes, but it's a certain length of the heel and it has to be wide. You're a sweetheart. Thank you very much. Yeah, I cannot wait to watch DDP versus Hamzat. Yeah, Duplessis coming up August 6th. No, I think it's no, the 16th. You probably just missed the number one. Love from South Korea. Hi, South Korea. Hope you're doing well. Hi from Italy. Hi, Italy. But anyways, right now in Da Nang City, having a holiday. If you want to know what the channel about, just go check it up. It's actually about training, boxing, but I do mixed type of content. For example, last couple days, I made 2 videos about exploring Da Nangs. Today, I spent first half of the day making the video about my way to Lady Buddha. You can check it out if you want. But I also do a lot of live streams, and I do live streams from the gym, from the showing some boxing training, all that kind of stuff. Are you sitting in Café? Yes, I'm sitting in Café. This is a very cool coffee shop. It's called Lighthouse. So it gives away a little bit of a castle vibe. This is like an upper floor, and then this is how it looks down there. It's a good co-working space as well. And since I'm not familiar with Da Nang, it's basically a couple days here. I was looking at the reviews, so I found out this place, and it's perfect for live streaming, not loud music, all that kind of stuff. Can you bring some bangers about how to grow from simple relationship to more diverse and deep relationship? Oh, that's way more complex. I'm gonna try to respond shortly. You gotta find someone who has a similar core values, and they also have a similar intentions. Sometimes you meet people with similar values, but they don't want a relationship at this point, and it rarely happens when you make them change their mind. Yes, if you're ready to take that risk, go ahead. But I really believe that relationships, a deeper relationship, is not that much of the romantic fairy tale. It's actually a conscious choice, being quite pragmatic and strategic even about choosing the partner, and like in first period also testing them in the different ways, and at a certain point it just it all gets aligned quite well. Pretty much of you guys, thank you for being respectful, pretty much, and appreciate it. But people who's gonna spam or be disrespectful, especially disrespectful in the chat towards others, gonna be timed out or then after hidden from the channel. So this one, for example, I'm gonna time out. Okay. I'm from New York. I do Muay Thai for 10 years. Ghost, that's cool. That's very cool. Greetings from Ghana. Hi. Looks like a charge. A little bit. It looks like a charge from outside, by the way. What country is that? It is Vietnam, and the city is called Da Nang. Practice your English. I am practicing it right now, and I've been practicing for the last 5 years. 5 years ago, this is when I committed to learning English. Hello from Zimbabwe. Hi. So many countries. Hey, do you know how the holy water is made? Well, in Georgia, which is an Orthodox Christian country, it is basically a certain prayer upon that water, and that makes it holy after that ritual. Who's behind you? Just someone. I try not to bother others though, but yeah, just some other people doing their stuff. Love from San Francisco. Hi, San Francisco. And Indonesia. Your English is great. Thank you. Okay. Are you doing good travel vlogs for every place you travel to? I wouldn't say that. I think I didn't capture that much of Nha Trang because just ended up living there for a few months, and it just happens that way. Once you're home, you don't really do much of the traveling vlogs and the destination vlogs there. And now, because we moved to the different city and not gonna come, like, I don't know, whenever we would come back here, that's why I decided to make some long form traveling vlogs too. I'm trying to make a little bit diverse content. Hi, Uzbekistan. Do you eat dogs? I haven't tried it and not really planning. People who tried it here in Vietnam, and they say it's delicious, but yeah, it's not my cup of tea. Love from Kerala. Hi. Iran. Uzbekistan. Okay, I'm cooking, making French fries and chicken wings. Well, good for you. Enjoy. Bonjour. Hi. Bonjour. I'm not sure if I said it correctly. I enjoyed your video very much. Thank you. I appreciate it. I think I'm gradually getting better at it. You know, you gotta practice a lot, and then at some point you just get good at it. Hi, where are you from? I'm from Georgia, the country. So if you know Merab Tavalishvili, Ilya Tapuria, Alevan Saginashvili, some other Georgians as well, that's the same country. Hello from United Kingdom, hi. Correct, bonjour. Bonjour. Do you say je? Like, it's like a rather silent, or in Georgian we actually have a letter. It's r, so it's like a r. Bonjour. You watch UFC? Yes, I watch UFC, especially lately. But I watch some. Obviously, I watch Georgians. I watch the main card and try to whatever I don't watch, I try to do the highlights at least. Do you smoke? No, I don't smoke. Hi from USA. Hi, which state? Georgia equals wolves. LOL. Cool. Actually, there was a Georgian king called. He's known by the name of Vakhtang Gorgasali, and Gorgasali in Persian means a wolf head. So they would call him wolf head because his armor helmet would be shaped as a wolf's head. So it's Vakhtang Gorgasali. Around the 5th, 6th century, around that period. Looks so pretty, thank you very much. Why no singing today? Well, I kind of stopped doing, like, I'm not hosting karaoke anymore. The last karaoke live was my basically last karaoke hosting, but I'll do something about it. People were asking me maybe do just some singing at home, maybe try to do some requests, but so far it's just didn't get there. What are your opinions on Russia? Well, as any Georgian, our territories are occupied by Russia, and obviously I'm not very happy about it. So yeah, though it doesn't directly transfer to people. I have a lot of Russian friends. My mom is half Russian, so it's also about the people and personality. If a human is, if a person is decent and intelligent and nuanced thinker, it doesn't matter where they're from to me. It doesn't matter what they are. I always have a respect towards them. But otherwise, if there is disrespect, if there is, some entitlement, and I met some Russians who are, they think about Georgia as their backyard. Obviously, those kind of Russians are not my favorites. I have not found a woman like you in the USA. I don't think they're on social media. The reason I'm doing live streaming is my husband encouraged me to do that, and we have a long-term plan which going to involve a community building, which is already involving a community building and spreading a good message and actually putting something good and positive out there. But I can tell you, most of women of this US, anywhere in the other parts of the world, I think they're just busy doing their stuff and taking care of families, trying to, how would they, it's like an old-fashioned saying, try to make it, have it all, have a family, have some interest and maybe some job or hobbies, and trying to live this life, learn things. I think that's what good women do. North Carolina, cool. Never been to Georgia, USA. Well, I never been Georgia to USA. I'm from Georgia, the country. A professional boxer. No, last time I competed, that was amateur boxing, but I'm looking forward to start building my professional record. The question is whether I go to amateur first to restart and get the groove of it and then go pro, or just go pro straight away. It depends. It's going to be clear in the next few months. But I'm looking forward to do some fights. Thank you very much for all positive words. I appreciate you guys. Remember once when I was young, hearing Georgia attacked Russia, I was shocked that one state would invade a superpower. Well, but that's the thing. That didn't happen. There were two wars. One is Abkhazian. It's 1992, 1993, and the latest one was 2008. So it's two different regions of Georgia, and I can tell you, Georgia still started, but different sides say different things. In Russia, they teach in the school books that it was Georgia's fault, but in reality. I understand the Russians' position. They don't want a Western expenditure. They don't want Western influence on the post-Soviet bordering countries. What they do, it is enough to occupy 20% of the land to prevent the country to enter EU. And Georgia, in the constitution, I don't remember which part of it, but like one of the main laws in the constitution is that we have to do everything to go through the Euro-Atlantic integration. This is in our constitution after the fall of the Soviet Union and declaration of Georgian independence. So politically speaking, this is our goal, kind of like if we talk about constitution, and then Russia obviously doesn't want it. But they don't necessarily have to occupy, invade, and take entire country. It is enough for them, and that's basically what they did successfully, is to take that 20% and leave us, Georgia, in this dilemma. We'd rather have to give up on those lands, and boom, we don't have 20% occupied anymore, and we can continue on integrating, technically, I'm just saying like theoretically. Or we end up, and that's the main point of it. We are in front of the dilemma that is still there. Are we excited to see you dancing, singing? Well, at some point, for sure. Roman Dolidze. Oh yeah, yeah. Someone's saying, "Oh, your guy lost." Yeah, I know. Yeah, Roman Dolidze lost. I haven't watched this fight because I've been traveling these days, but I've seen highlights. Wasn't good, and that's the thing. I don't think everyone got it, and unfortunately, Roman's last performances were not good. I got to be objective about it. Just because he's Georgian, I'm not gonna try to find excuses. Same was with Guram Kutateladze, and he retired now because I forgot who he had fight with. But anyways, yeah, it's just not everyone has that can get to that higher level. What cities are you going to in US? Well, we might come to US if everything goes according to plan, but so far it's I'm not going any cities. I'm in Vietnam right now. Happy to see that Azerbaijan and Armenia have made peace deal. Pray it is yeah, and it is very good for the region because apparently both of those countries, both always had a Russian influence, but apparently they're kind of escaping it, if you know what I mean. How far is your home from Iraq? Literally overseas, like the other part of the planet at this point. Women are narcissistic in the USA. As I said, most of the people you see on the social medias, especially, are narcissistic. There are very few people who try to bring some value. They have other intentions, but most of the people expose themselves to social medias just to satisfy and feed their egos and get that validation. There's nothing wrong. We all partially need someone else's validation. That is a part of human nature, I would say. But a lot of it has to be, you gotta validate yourself. You gotta be able to have that, as called self-esteem. What's your favorite planet? Venus. I live in Georgia, that's cool. DDP versus Hamzat. DDP, I think because of his pressure and stamina, that's what I think. But I might be wrong. I'm not saying it's 100% what's going to happen, but I'm leaning towards DDP. Yeah, keep scrolling up, guys. Women here can confirm girls like us are busy doing really life stuff. Well, yeah, Kyla, for example, she seems like a wonderful person. This is and very realistic and down to earth. This is a much special social media stuff I do, but it's because this is so worthwhile. And this diamond in the row. Thank you very much. Islam or Charles? Islam. Okay, please, guys, don't spam. Okay. Are you from Vietnam? No. We just live here at this point. What is your nationality? I'm Georgian. Fun fact, penguins sometimes present a pretty table to a female as a courtship gift. If she accepts, it is basically a penguin engagement ring. That's cute. You're a sweetheart. Thank you very much. Gap, keep scrolling up, guys. Are you training with MMA? No, boxing primarily. I did some MMA training and some wrestling, BJJ, but it was more just an amateur level. Just for fun. What's your favorite conspiracy theory? I'm not sure. Like, nothing comes to my mind at this point. Okay, I'm all the way up to the top, guys. Are you all enjoying your trip? Yeah, absolutely. It is lovely here. It feels, the night feels like it's not fully developed yet. It's way bigger than Nha, but Nha feels like, okay, every place, every piece of the land, like is, there's something built up upon it, and it's like the way it is. But with Da Nang, it's way bigger, and there's so many construction buildings, and there's so many like pieces of land that just they're empty, and the constructions are just starting. And I've heard that that's been going on for years, and obviously it's developing, but it keeps developing. It's still not there fully. I think when it gets there, it's going to be like a huge tourist trap. Oh, there is a donation. Thank you very much. You're a very interesting lady, Vilar says. I'm glad you make content and live streams. Thank you very much. I mean, that's very sweet of you. And shout out to you. And just letting you know, guys, that super chat donation, all that kind of stuff, everything helps to grow the channel. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, how long have you been training? I've been training for many years. Well, there is a periods of my life. It depends how you look at it. Since I was 6, I was dancing like a Georgian-Russian dancing, and then I had a little gap, and then I started doing martial arts. Started from karate, then I went to the boxing. So it's pretty much, I've been active my entire life since I was 6. When it comes to the specifically combat sports, yeah, it started from karate when I was around 15, and then I moved to boxing very soon, and boxing was my primary sport. I did some amateur competing, won national championships, did some national team camp preparation. Actually I've been in Dagestan, Makhachkala, for this tournament, but I was too young and they didn't allow me to compete there. I did some sparring though, and it was a very good experience. And that's basically it, Then I came back and retired quite early for some reasons. But I never stopped training, and over years now, I committed a lot to learning a human body. Nutrition, sleep, physical preparation, obviously continued with boxing. I started sprinting, and this is how I started the channel. So it's been quite a big journey. And at this point, I'm like, why wouldn't I do it? Like, I'm still young. I still can do fights. I can fight, basically. And my long-term vision is, at some point, I want to become more like a coach, like specifically for the competitive boxing, or even MMA, but like on the striking side. And yeah, I'm already teaching some stuff. I'm already live streaming boxing and boxing from scratch, and footwork drills, and how to create the power, strength, velocity, all that kind of stuff. But I want to get even more experience and show that journey, how to get from just a decent technique and maintaining a good form to competitive, how to get to competitive level. So I'm sharing that journey here on the channel, and hopefully within the next few months I'm going to be able to get back on the ring. But before that, there are so many things happening, and trying to grow up the YouTube channel, do combine different types of content, live streaming, traveling, soon to be some collaborations, and some cooler stuff. So yeah, I never say subscribe my channel kind of stuff, but if it feels interesting for you, you can check out my channel, subscribe, and wait for some cool things happening soon. Okay. Is being red hat better than blonde? I don't know. Up to the taste. What is this live about? Just talking, having a vacation in Da Nang, and that is kind of the title. But it's Q&A, so feel free to ask questions. What do you think is taking the belt between DDP and Hamzat? I think that DDP is gonna, because of his pressure and endurance, he has a better endurance than Hamzat. I think DDP, but I might be wrong. There's always a striker's chance. There is always chance for a submission. We like whoever watches mixed martial arts and UFC specifically for a long time, they've seen like there are some fights which being like the one comes to my mind from Richarlison and versus Spider Silva. I was like, I mean, he was losing their first fight. Anderson Silva was losing, and he still managed to do that armbar, I think. So yeah, we'll see. My name is Diana. I'm not Olga, and I'm Georgian. And you sing Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. I hope that was okay. Be friend. Okay. Okay, guys. I recommend not to write some nonsense. By the way, I'm married, and whoever is watching me for quite some time, they know my husband. He's one of the moderators in the chat. He's like a backbone of this channel. He's doing a lot of works. He's doing a lot of work. All of the shorts, they're just pumping. And many of you had to turn off the notification. That was because of his work. And yeah, so please just let's try not to do any nonsense here. I've been watching your boxing videos and you're really, really impressive. You seriously pack a punch quick too. Kyla says, thank you very much. I'm trying. Keep learning, and it's a long journey. But you gotta be also smart. You know, before the biggest difference between me years ago and me at this point is I'm way smarter than I used to be, and I understand certain things way better than I used to do. And it helps. Like when you ask the right questions, you're most likely gonna get the right answers, and it helps very much into the learning process. Hi everyone. Your favorite movie or series? There's some. Favorite movie, Escape from the Shawshank, and favorite series, I mean, I liked Hannibal, liked, what else? The Punisher series. Yeah, there's some. I'm not really watching too much stuff, unless it's my husband choosing something to watch, and we just do that together. Where are you from? I'm from Georgia. Child was on steroids, that's why. Well, Anderson was also caught on steroids, so that's a great area of the sports. Everyone is pretty much, not everyone, sorry. I don't think it's everyone on the steroids, but a lot of them are on the steroids, especially that older generation. Even though UFC tests are, doping tests are stricter than other organizations, it still allows athletes to do cycle in, cycle out, and basically, yeah, that's a great area of the sport. It is better to train consistently every day, or better to train every second day, but to train harder? Mohammed asked. That's a good question. You gotta have to have like harder sessions, impact training, couple 3 times a week, more than enough. Even if you are the athlete, if you look at any sports, there is always a periodization, but they also still train every day, because what they do, they have there is a harder sessions, couple 3 times per week, and the rest is technique, is a low impact, depending on the sport. Is it an endurance sport? Is it a combat sport? But like easier sessions cover technique, some like cardio, footwork, that kind of stuff. Harder sessions is all in, like some sparrings, technical sparrings, heavy back training, hard interval cardios that help to develop VO2 max, and hard sessions. There's some strength training integrated within the week. At least once a week you have a proper strength training for the strength development. So you can, for an athlete, it is like they train every day. They go to their gym every day, probably 5, 6 times a week. But a lot of those sessions are lighter ones, just to keep the consistency. Because you gotta have a good recovery. Recovery is one of the most important things. If that is neglected, your efficiency, whether you are a professional or just doing it for yourself, it's gonna harm you really, really bad. Hamzat is a beast. What are you talking about? He can strike and grapple very well. I'm not saying he's not a beast. DDP is also a beast. That's why we're all looking forward for that fight. Also, by the way, Hamzat has smaller record in I think total MMA. In UFC, I'm not sure exactly how much the record, but DDP's record is 23-2, like 2 losses, 23 wins, and Hamzat is 16-0. So he's unbeaten. He never lost, and yeah, that's good. You know, I'm not saying he necessarily is going to lose, but people underestimate a factor, stamina factor. And guys, stamina is one of the most important factors for the winning, because that is something that breaks your opponent's psychology, both physicality and psychology. And I just think that DDP has a better endurance and better pressure. But I might be wrong. Okay. I really like women like no nonsense, so no drama, just talking about their passion and focus on career. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, focused on my life, career, trying to, as I said, have it all. What's the advice for a beginner going to Thailand to find gym to train at? What if I'm going to moving around the country? Thailand is known for the best Thai gyms in the world. So if you want to learn Thai boxing, absolutely go to Thailand. They also have like a light sparring mentality. They do light sparrings most of the time, and that is very good for learning. I'm not in Thailand though, so I cannot exactly tell you which gym is the best. From Fiji, hi. My favorite movie also. Yeah, you mean Shawshank Redemption? Yes, I've seen that movie a long time ago, in the Russian translation when I didn't know English. So yeah, it's in Russian version it's called Escape from the Shawshank. So thank you for telling me its actual name. Anderson wasn't on steroids. He was cleared for creatine element. I'm not saying specifically on that fight, but as I remember, he had it with Bisping, Michael Bisping. This is when, at least one time, when he got tested after that fight, he got tested positive for something. I don't remember for what. But yeah, I hope you all are doing well. Do you want the whole world to be Paladin? I don't know what that means. Anyways, guys, I think there is some problem with connection. I'm not sure exactly. Well, let me know, because if there is how many skips can you do? You mean the rope skipping? I can do up until 15 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. I've done all of that. So obviously, consistently, it might, I might trip, but, you keep hopping. Like the boxer style of hopping. And for double unders, my record is 60 double unders, like when you do a double. What do you think? Which thing is very powerful for fighting? Stamina is one of the first things. Obviously, a power punch. When you have a power punch, even when your jab or like kick or whatever you throw and lands has an impact, that automatically makes your opponent to try to avoid you. So you succeed on the pressure, but I would say stamina is the first. DDP relies on putting pressure for long distance fights and takedowns until the opponent gets tired or drops his hand, and I don't think Hamzat's gonna be tired or lose the grappling superiority. As I said, I'm not saying that's gonna be 100%, but whatever you said regarding his pressure and his tactic, that's absolutely true. I just think most of people underestimate it. Like kind of similar thing happened between Merab and Umar fight. Like everyone was hyped, like Umar is the only one can beat Merab. And maybe if we just take pure technique and let's say their stamina is the same, he could. But that's not the reality. The truth is that Merab has the best cardio, best gas tank in the division, if not in the entire UFC. And like he makes his opponents like Cejudo, Olympic champion, Piotr Jan, one of the well-rounded fighters in the division and like many divisions, Sean O'Malley, like sniper, Omar, very well-rounded fighter. He made all of them look like amateurs, not because they are amateurs, just because if you have a better stamina, if you're way ahead with your endurance, it plays the biggest role. How do you train machines? Tend to experience pain there. Could it be caused by skipping rope? I don't think it's caused by skipping rope. Skipping rope might cause the calf tension and maybe a little bit like the muscles on the front part of your shin. But if you have a painful shins from the kicks, that's probably caused by kicks, and you gotta let it recover. Your bone layer on the shins tends to harden. So you do those kicks, you train them, you do that on other people. Sometimes, like I've seen people training it on harder surfaces, doing like a shin, the low kicks, and basically just trying to harden their shins. But you also gotta let it recover properly. Is technique not in first thing in the fighting? Well, as long as if you have a stamina, if you have you're able to apply pressure, yes, technique is gonna Islam Makhachev is a good example of it. Ilya Topuria is a good example of it. Alexander Volkanovski is a good example of it. I'm talking about like those well-rounded fights. GSP is a good example of it, but you gotta have that stamina too. You gotta have to be able to hold the pressure. If you have just a beautiful technique, you just have a beautiful technique. That's why there are people less equipped technically, but if they have a better physicality, athleticism, and stamina, they win in combat sports. Yes, I agree with you, and I cannot wait to watch the fight. I'm so hyped. Yeah, absolutely. Same here. Why stamina first, not mental training? Because actually mental training, mental endurance lays on the physical endurance. Obviously, you're going to be able to kind of break through when you actually feel tired. But let's be honest, most of people cannot do that. Most of people break down under that pressure, especially if the opponent is way better with holding that pressure. So once you fall under the pressure, you cannot hold it, you cannot apply the pressure back. It starts from a physical aspect, This is when your mentality breaks. This is what happened to Roman Dolidze, to the Georgian fighter who lost. You can be technical if you don't have stamina, because in a certain moment you want to be precise and technical, but your body cannot. It's a good point. It's a good point. But if we're talking about what is the thing that you really need to increase your chances of success, like I don't say technique. I'm not saying stamina over technique the way that you can just bail on technique and you focus on the athleticism. It's not that exactly, of course. I'm just talking about that if you really want to be able, whatever you learned technically, whatever you trained for, to build up that technique, build up that style, you need the stamina to efficiently execute it in the fight. Okay, guys, you know what? I'm gonna restart the live stream, so feel free to join for the restart version. And yeah, I see you in a bit.